Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Roll20 Presents The Burning Wheel. Upheaval all around. Shit's going crazy. So let's tune back into to the court. So the court is being currently harassed by some peasants. The peasants are outside. They're attempting to break in to make good on their promise to take from the nobles what the nobles are obviously not willing to give away. Alessandra, after an attempt to convince King
After
Thomas, two attempts, an attempt and an assist, attempt to convince King Thomas there's another way besides spilling blood in your house, trying to turn away violence. The king was like, "Yo, girl, sit down. I got some shit going on," and he called for the captain of the guard. Joy, you have returned knowing that this is about to get worse. Now, they don't know that they just think they're all being loud. They don't know that they're like trying to break the doors down or whatever. So, Joy, you come back into the room and you have an opportunity to do something before Captain Cheka arrives. What would you like to do?
I am going to declare loudly for the court. It looks like it's getting worse. I think they might be coming inside.
Okay. Are you attempting to do anything in particular, or
Not really. I have no fucking idea what to do in this situation. Like, it's going to unfold the way I did the thing I could do, and I fucking failed because I always do. So we'll see what happens.
okay? So you're
I'm back where I'm supposed to be, like close to the people that are probably going to be the most heavily defended. So that's good.
I have a quick question. I don't want to detract from the scene too much or make it about me, but in terms of when this occurs,
yes.
compared to when I'm doing things, I'm not sure what's more interesting, of me doing this after this happens or kind of simultaneously.
I think it's more or less simultaneous at this point. So this might have been like, this might be the day after that conversation, or maybe the afternoon before that happens at night. I think more likely that what you did came slightly before this, while you're still working out the details, because it might have changed the tenor of that conversation.
Right.
But
yes.
again, this isn't like a full blown like peasant uprising. This is a riot for now. This is not a full scale revolt, though it could grow to one depending on how it's handled. Okay, so Alessandra, you see Joy in the crowd, just kind of like, it's gonna get worse, everybody, and people are panicking. Right, they're looking at her like, "Huh, the jester said it's going to get worse. What's happening?" And people are like, kind of like getting upset and freaking out a little bit. Do you want to do anything, Alessandra?
Yeah. Do you want that really easy, ugly truth test? Look at it.
No.
I think like when the captain of the guard or whatever came in, like, is the king like arming himself? Is he intending to go too?
No. This is not the king's place. The king is just going to give the captain the order to go and get rid of these filthy townsfolk.
Gosh, this is gonna be weird. She is gonna go make sure that Necula is safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Wait, you have a son?
Yeah.
What's a neculi?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a kind of Carpathian vampire creature.
yeah.
It's a parasite that you can get infected with if you live in Carpathia.
Yeah, if you have sex with a Carpathian man,
You might get
end
neculi.
up with a neculi.
Yeah. No, I think the thing is that like she's a little bit frustrated with the fact that she is like not in control of the situation, and like also like she tried to ask for help, which is hard for her, and then that didn't work. And also like there are people coming into her house, and she does like she's not completely unaware of the fact that this boy is her like link to like
Okay.
Like that's why she has the freaking house, you know? So like also she probably doesn't want to be like in the like thick of any kind of fighting.
Go where
So-
the little kid is, because someone will protect him, and by extension, you.
Yes, it's a little bit that as well. Like
Good.
wherever the kid is less likely to be swarmed by peasants, probably.
Probably. Yeah.
So, yep. She's kind of exiting the potential violence, and like I have to go tend to my son. So yeah.
Okay, do you want to make an effort to like slip away, or do you just walk off? This time the king will notice if you leave.
I think that I think that it's like she says that like there are guardsmen like coming into the space, or at least there's like going to be these green mantle people like coming through her house, and there's no way that that's not happening, and he's made the point that violence is like going to occur, and so she probably like stands and like bows a little bit and says, "My king, I must go to my son." And then she like looks at him like,
Yeah, he looks at you like, really? Now? And he gives you a look that means like, no, you're staying here. And he says, don't be foolish. No one is in any danger. The captain will see to things. Sit down.
I would feel safer if I knew and could see that my son was in no danger. You do not have children, my king. You do not understand how it feels.
Okay.
Are you trying to piss him off?
A little bit, yeah.
Wow, you're a dick. Okay. I mean, ugly truth, that shit, I guess.
Okay. She's tried a lot of shit, okay, to get him to agree to have kids with her.
The
So
king
like,
will remember this.
yeah, he fucking better. Ugly truth. What's the thing? What's the ob? I don't know. I don't ugly truth a lot.
I know you don't. Ugly truth. The ob is dependent on how ugly this truth is. Ugly truth about family is ob 2.
Ob 2. Okay. Noble wise, because he's a noble. I'm a noble. My son's a noble. Family things.
Mm-hmm.
Husband wise also.
Yeah.
I don't think there's like anything else really involved. Yeah, that's probably it. Ob 2, you said?
Mhm.
Well. Yep, I got it, just barely.
All right. So he looks at you like he's like disappointed, and your intent was for him to let you leave, right, without making it a big deal.
I mean, like, if this is an ugly truth, the ugly truth is you have no children because you've like chosen.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the we should have been clear about establishing this. This is about you being here or not being here. He wanted you to stay to witness his being a badass and commanding the captain. You were like, I gotta go see my kid, and then you pulled out the like, you don't understand, you don't have kids.
Yeah, but like, if that was like, let me leave, isn't that persuasion? Ugly truth is realizing the truth that you state.
Ugly truth can also make people react certain ways.
Yes,
I mean,
the ugly truth here was for him to be like, yeah, I don't understand. Get out of here. Go see your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. That's what he's doing, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, Joy, you overhear this obviously, and so he just blinks at you, and he says, "No, I don't. Go then, be with your child. I have a kingdom to run." And he turns back. Joy, do you want to interject and make this worse, or do you just want to let it?
I'm just gonna say something completely to the situation at hand rather than this, whatever this is. And I'm just gonna say, Your Highness, my attempts to parlay with them seem to have not gone very well. suffice to say.
Well, my jester, good on you for trying. I think we'll do this another way. Captain, whenever your men are ready. And the captain grins and salutes. He says, Your Majesty, by your command. And he turns to leave.
There is nothing worse than in my head that mental image of the guy who's just like, yes, let us go and perpetrate the violence inherent in the system, and I'm going to smile about it because I like her.
And the captain loves his job.
Yes, that's right. There are some cops who became cops just so they could do awful things to people, and this guy is one of those guys.
Mm-mm.
So
the other type of cops are the ones who didn't become cops to do that, but end up doing
that anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So he leaves to go and gather his. Not even gather. They're ready. Like they're all waiting, armor on, and what have you. So Alessandra, you leave to go to where Nikolai is.
Yep.
Okay. Where is that?
Probably like his nursery schoolroom area. He has like a place where people come and teach him shit.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think he's there. I'm not gonna make you roll, but you find him after searching a few places. And I think that when you do find him, he is he's with Reza, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah. And he's sitting on a table in Reza's, like one of Reza's like rooms where Reza, like where he hangs out.
His suite or whatever.
Yeah, because he's got a room here. So you find him there. And I don't know, do you go here like last because you know it's the place he'll probably be? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing. Like she goes to where he ought to be and he's not there. And she probably like goes to the room where he sleeps and he's not there either.
Okay, so you hear Reza talking to Nikolai before you come in, if you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so Reza is saying, it sounds like he's doing something. There's like shuffling, and you hear like metal like clanking occasionally. And you hear him, Reza saying, now, boy, when you become a man, you'll understand this better. But I'm telling you now so you know what's going on. There are men outside, filthy, ignoble men, and they want to come inside your house. And no one's given them any permission. Do you understand? And Nikolai is like, And he says, and so when things like this happen, it's up to the man of the house to make sure that it's done right. Now, in this case, the man of the house has some friends, important friends. You've seen the men walking around with the green cloaks? And Nikolai's like, yes. And he says, good. Those are Daddy's friends. And Daddy and his friends are going to go and defend your house. And then you hear a sword like pop out of a sheath a little ways, like he's checking it, and then click back in.
Yeah, and I think that like I hear him like being like, yeah, we're gonna go violence a person, and then I hear Daddy's friends.
Yeah.
And like I don't let it continue after that. Like I come into the room and I like just like sweep forward. Probably.
Yeah, before I want to give you a chance.
You can tell me what
you see. So you step forward, and yeah, I mean Reza's wearing Gavril's armor, right? Like obviously he's just finishing putting it on. He's like tightening a strap on the breastplate, and he has like your husband's like cloak or whatever hanging down, and he's just put away the sword on his belt, and Nikolai is sitting on a table. Holding an iron like helmet in his arms, just like looking up at Reza, like Reza is some kind of like god.
Yeah, of course.
He would probably get Nikolai to slightly help him with the armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you to do this buckle. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a feeling that was the
I
case.
have a question.
Yes.
Adam, if this dude has the lawbreaker trait, what eerie and horrifying weird thing is also happening while this other thing is happening?
Yeah, right. I mean, I think probably the temperature in the room is higher than it should be. Like everywhere in the castle is cold, and there's like no fire in here, but the room is warm. Yeah, I think that like a lot of the lawbreaker stuff. Probably Nicola has seen all of it, and Reza has just been like, don't worry.
Yep.
It's fine. Everything's fine. And just like a normal thing. And if anybody other than Reza ever talked to Nikolai would probably tell stories about the like neat things that happen around Daddy.
Yeah. And yeah, so I hear that. I sweep into the room. I don't pause because like I kind of like I heard the clanking and the talking about, yep, they're violent. It's a thing. And I probably like sweep forward and like go to grab Nikolai, even though he's probably gonna like try and pull away from me, but she's probably used to that too. And she's like, his father is dead, Reza.
So you go to pick him up.
Yeah.
And he like makes a noise of like recognition or surprise as you like come barreling towards him. And yeah, Reza turns around to get in your way. Like he stops you. And he like grabs you by the shoulders to intercept you. Unless you stop, and then he won't.
Yeah, I would stop.
Okay, so he gets in the way and he looks at you. And he gives you a weird look, like a look that you've never seen on Reza before.
Okay.
And it's a look of like pity, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how you would interpret it, but he looks at you like it's not softness, but it's just like it makes you feel pathetic the way he looks at you. And that's I don't think something that Alessandra is used to feeling.
No.
And yeah, and he looks at you, and he says, "What are you doing here?"
I came to make sure that my son was safe. You've obviously seen what is going on outside. What, do you intend to take him with you?
Don't be daft, woman. No, but I intend for him to see. We'll find somewhere safe.
He will not be watching a battle as though it were...
No battle this. We are defending his home. Something I think you'd have a little more interest in. If you weren't so busy flitting around your courtiers, maybe you'd care something for the defense of this place. I'm going to show the boy what valor means.
It should not need to be defended in this way in the first place.
Sometimes you have to teach your lessers something about respect.
Yes, and what do you think will happen then? They'll just back down while they're starving.
They can choose to back down or die. And he takes a step towards you, like gets into your personal space.
Yes, well, lots of people to rule in Carpathia if they're all dead.
There's always more peasants.
Where do you intend to take him to watch this glorious defense of our home?
I'll have a servant bring him to a window somewhere.
No need, I am here.
He looks at you. I don't trust you.
He is my son, Reza. You don't need to trust me, and I don't need your permission.
He is... I care for the boy as well, and have done more work fathering him than you have mothering him. The boy barely knows your face.
All that I've done to provide a life for him here. It is not your responsibility. We have had this discussion before, Reza. He's not your son.
He sneers at you and he says, "Why don't we let the boy decide?"
He's a child.
He's practically a man already. You can make decisions for yourself, can't you, boy? And he like nods nervously.
There is no decision to be made.
No, the decision's made
my son
already.
By rights. What are you doing, Reza?
Do you want to like try to convincing him is going to be real hard. You could try.
I mean, it's not like like in her mind, there's no convincing to be done. He's her son and he's not Reza's son.
Yeah, right.
Like this is argument over property in her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 5.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was saying that for obviously he knows he's not He's saying it for his sake, to pump him up, to be like, you want to see the battle, don't you? Big boys like blood and stuff. Yeah, that was not him not knowing how old the kid is. So yeah, he says to you, he says, you gave birth to the boy, but have not been his mother, not for a moment since then. He's coming with me.
He will not be coming with you, Reza. And I think it's high time that he leave your company altogether.
I think he hits you. He
He
has two overlapping instincts.
Yeah. No, that's totally the thing that he would do.
Yeah, and he's got his like gauntlets on too.
Yeah.
So this isn't gonna go good for you. I will give you an opportunity to like back down, because you have instincts around this. Like you know when you've seen Reza, and this is where the overlap. Like this is one thing that they both do the same. When a woman talks back, they know how to respond. So you can try to do something, but yeah, you see him, and there's that moment of like, but there's no one else around to redirect the anger to except Neculai, and
He's way too protective of Neculai.
well, what you could do, I guess, would make like look at Neculai and make like a quick persuade check to make Neculai say something or like make a noise or whatever to interrupt him, which would then he would be mad at Neculai for being such a wimp.
No, I think that like, yes, her first reaction is like, don't be in violence, but like there's violence outside of her house. And like, this is her kind of like coming to realize that she let this go on for way too long.
Yeah. Like there is a degree of like, he's not wrong about some of this stuff. Yeah.
No. He's absolutely not wrong. Neculai has been like way closer with Reza than he's ever been with, and she's just let it happen because she didn't think like she's like, whatever, like he's a thing and not a child to her. And yet like he is her power base. And now she's realizing that like things are really, really fucking unstable. And she needs to make sure that she has this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So no, she wouldn't back off.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you take the back of a gauntleted hand to the jaw. And if you're not avoiding the hit or whatever, I think he just hits you. And then it'll be like the steel test and the stuff that comes after that.
Yep.
Okay. So
you can wound someone even accidentally with a gauntlet.
What's that?
She might get wounded from this.
No,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. It'll hurt for sure.
That's like metal on the face. Right. Like, yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
No, it's definitely like I can understand that it might have injury.
Yeah. But like I said, that's the thing. Like this is you rejecting your instinct. This is you like. Like it's a significant thing for this character. Okay, so there's no like power. Okay, here we go. Hilt, pommel, but yeah, I think that's reasonable. Like getting hit with the part of weapon. So its power is his +1. So 6, B6. So I think
I've never had any kind of injury, so you're gonna have to help me.
Yeah. I think you just take a B6 wound. Is what happens.
So
awesome. Bang, like hits you with this gauntleted hand. It's certainly the most like painful thing that's ever happened to Alessandra. You've been slapped more than once, but like he doesn't have to try. You're not trying to avoid the hit. You know it's coming.
How painful is childbirth?
Yeah, I mean this is the most pain all at once. That was much longer and drawn out.
Yeah, basically, other than giving birth to a child, this is a very painful thing. Because
this is a midi wound for you.
Yep.
Or how the study had found that menstrual cramps are as painful as heart attacks.
Yeah, totally.
So
I've definitely had some that was very painful.
Yes, yeah. This is the most painful sudden thing to have happen to you, rather than the kinds of pain you're most used to. Okay, and so I won't roll to like make it better. better because he's not actually trying. It's just that's the condition of not avoiding it. You take the hit, and you don't have any stats that are lower than 2, right? So it doesn't knock you out.
No, I don't have any stats that are lower than 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless corruption.
No, it sure doesn't. All right, so let's talk about that. Because this would be, I would call it like an incidental. I would reduce it to like 3 or whatever, except that he's possessed and he's angry and it's 2 people's will. It's like it's more complicated than just, and he doesn't realize he has the gauntlet on. Half of him is going to be like, oh shit, and the other half is going to be like, yeah, that's what you get. Reza is probably really hype. Reza wants you to be dead, but Gavril doesn't, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah, considering.
Yeah, debilitating injuries that are not life-threatening but extremely painful. Yep. Yeah. So, you make a steel test.
Okay. And is that just my hesitation?
The severity of the wound is subtracted from the steel before it's made, which it'll do automatically. And the ob is your hesitation.
So no modifiers?
Right. Yeah.
So
there's only a heartbeat. So he sees you hesitate and probably assumes you're going to hesitate for a while. You stagger, you don't fall, but you're staggered for a second. And he's like, cool, conversation's over. I did it. He turns around, picks Reza up, or picks Nekulai up, and then you can do something if you want. Like you're all fucked up and you're dizzy and your vision's blurry and your ears are ringing, but you can act.
I mean, this is like, she didn't take a gauntleted hand to the face for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
She stands in the way.
Okay.
She stands in the door.
Okay.
And she's like holding the sleeve of her gown to her face.
Is this one of those moments, side note, Bluge, not that I want to like insert myself here, but is this one of those moments where having me outside the door when this door opens might be really, really good for you?
It might be really, really bad too.
Joy. No. I like that idea. I love it. Like Joy, okay. if you want to have followed along, this could be the moment where you're like we cut to the outside and you hear the sound of her getting hit, and we see Joy like, oh boy, this is no joking matter.
That's totally fine because you did see me leave and you are a butt face. So
I think the door's just open. I don't think that it was ever shut.
Yeah, so I think like if you're blocking the doorway, I'm sort of like, now I was sort of hiding in the the side of the door, like out of line of sight if this door is open. I'm sort of now like standing in that doorway as well, like watching this. And the first thing that I can think of is the king's not going to be very happy about this. That's the first thing that I can think of saying.
Sure. And so are you in the room or
I'm
just
like
standing behind
Elisandra? You said the door's open.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, I've heard what happened. It's real bad. I've stepped out so that I'm visible. And like Elisandra's been hit, which is like really unusual. And I've known her for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm trying to do is like put some fear into this guy that like something could come back to him here.
Well, and here's the thing, Joy. Like, this is almost probably ridiculously similar. Like she hears you. She turns a little bit and looks back at you, and you see, like, do you fucking remember Gavril? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Like,
well, if he wasn't armed and armored, I might be considering like helping you out, but this is not a good time.
Yeah.
Well, Alessandra always does things like later, but way worse, you know.
Right.
Like,
too much, too late.
So
yeah.
My plan here is to ugly truth the idea that like this kind of violence against the host of this house, you know. I mean, I know that I'm saying this kind of violence against the person the king is fucking, you know, like, could be very bad for you. But what I'm trying to get across to him is like this kind of violence against the person who's hosting is going to come back to you, and I saw you, basically. So like,
okay, so he turns around, holding Nekulai like sort of perched in one arm, and his helmet still on the table, and he turns,
And I like stand in the doorway and I look at him and I'm just looking at him, like holding my sleeve to my face. And then Joy is right behind me.
Yeah. And
I'm like peeking around you, basically.
Yeah, and he sneers and he says, "Really, Alessandra? This creature? Don't make me set the boy down and move the both of you."
I don't think that would go well for you.
And
she's just looking at him.
Yeah.
Not because of me.
And Joy's kind of hiding behind Alessandra, right?
Yeah,
because Alessandra's in the door. You're like, it's gonna get you.
I am definitely doing like that kind of thing. It's like, not because of me, but she looks pretty mad. And I've seen what she does when she's mad. You won't like it. Promise. You like that kid? You might not see it again after this. Just let her go on her way. Take the child. It's very easy.
He stares at you, and
You know what her and I both have in common? The king really likes us both. So, at your own peril.
And he sneers, and he says, "What know you of the king? The king is a man coming apart, a man with much more pressing concerns than how I treat my relatives. Besides, the boy is man of the house, and I am here to protect him, and letting her coddle him will result in a weak lord. The king needs strength, now and in the future."
So you're planning on defending this house, yes? Tick-tock, tick-tock. Things are happening. Guards are moving. You're wasting time.
Yeah, and he's like, "That it is." And he takes an aggressive step towards you, Alessandra, to see if you back down.
She takes a step back, but she's still in the doorway, right? Like she doesn't want to get hit again, but she's still standing in the doorway. And she's looked at him, and Joy's been talking, and she's just been staring daggers at him. And she's
the difference is Alessandra's really quiet about this and angry, and Joy's just running her mouth.
And then she lets that go on for a little bit. He steps forward and
steps forward to do that thing where he's tries to make you flinch. And you back up, you back into Joy.
Yeah. Give me my son.
The boy is coming with me.
He's doing no such thing. Give me my son.
I feel like there's a role here. Your intent is to get him to go and deal with this thing. It's just saying it, I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah,
you're going to have to roll.
I understand,
But I don't know what. It doesn't feel like persuade.
How about this, Adam?
Yeah.
You want your house defending glory? You want your valor and all those things that you nobles love so much? Give her the kid. We'll get out of your way. No problem. Ugly truth.
It sounds like you're trying to make a deal. The deal is
all persuade. This is all persuade.
Well, persuasion is to get someone to do something because they think it's their idea, right?
No, that it's in their best interest.
Their best interest.
Yeah, I feel like you're being intimidating in a way.
Okay, well,
I'm not trying to say no. Let me take the look at the scale.
Hang on, I can rephrase it to make it work too.
Sure.
Child's hers, not yours. Doesn't matter how long you look after it. Doesn't matter how many hours of love you pour into it. It's her kid. Give it to her. Go and defend your house. Ugly truth.
Except that it's not. That's the trick.
Because
you don't know that.
How could I possibly?
I know exactly.
Know that?
Well, that's the thing is you can't roll because it's not the truth. It won't work on him.
Okay, well, tell me what I should roll.
Well, but that's the thing. Part of the job is putting these two things together. And I understand that you want to make a roll, and I want you to make a roll too. But it has to be the right one. So give me a second to look at persuasion. Convincing someone to act on your behalf because it's in their best interest. So I think the angle is like you were saying, like you're gonna miss it. You got to go
Well,
do
this
the
is
thing.
more, I think that honestly, I don't have the skill, and this is probably even worse for me, but this is intimidation.
Yeah, maybe
That's what it is. It's like, give me my son. It's not your kid. I'm not going to, like, she's basically said as much as, like, you will never see him again. This has gone too far. Like, those are all, like, intimidation. And it's like, I am one, wounded, and two, like, I don't have a skill. But that's what it feels like it is.
I don't have a lot other than persuasion and ugly truth. I don't.
How does helping work again?
You get an extra die.
Yeah.
But you have to have a related skill.
You have to have the skill. Yeah.
Well, the skill or something related, yeah. And I know, like for y'all, it might seem like I'm being especially recalcitrant, but like this is like all six of his beliefs.
Like it's definitely like it definitely deserves a roll. Like I agree. And I feel like it's intimidation on Alessandra's behalf, and like because she was just like staring daggers at the guy while bleeding from the face, like that. And also threatened to take away like someone he perceives as his son or is his son, you know, Gavril wise. I should have Gavril wise. That'd be good.
Husband wise is that.
But Joy could Joy like help with ugly truth because she thinks that she's helping by being
truthful. Ugly truth is definitely in this case not the role but the help, which means you'd still get the test. Because you think you're telling the truth and you're trying to establish it.
Yeah.
And as far as
I have extortion,
comprehend, Joy is telling the truth,
but it's not money.
Ghosts don't come back and
totally
possess people and blah.
Yeah, exactly. Just as a method of convincing him to do something, being like he's not your kid. The ghost in his head is gonna be like, A, yep, B, it is my kid, and B, like Reza, you raised him anyway. He might as well be your kid.
Yeah. So intimidation, 6, or what's Reza's will?
Reza's is 4.
It's not 6, it's 4.
Yeah, his is 4.
Yeah.
Intimidation is will.
Well, let's talk about we're getting ahead of ourselves. So what do you get if you win here? Like, I don't know what the threat you're threatening, but what are you threatening?
I'm like what Joy said and what I said, like we could like make it so that you never see this boy again.
It's a pretty empty threat, but like you could threaten
it's not entirely empty because she has the king's ear. It's social pressure and like it's not threats of violence, but it's
also he's my son and I could definitely send him to Squire with somebody.
Yeah. I'm thinking the reason that I'm saying that it's like you can still make the roll. It's great. It's fine. We can do that. I'm just saying the thing is, for him, if you just disappear, he's Reza's kid now. So this is a dangerous threat to make.
Well, I mean,
but that comes in the consequences.
Yeah, exactly. I'm letting you know. Like that's fine, but we just have to be clear on the social stuff that's going on. But yeah.
Well, but she's realized that she's let it go too far, and like that is the like.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think intimidation works here.
So 4.
Also, this whole exchange sounds like it merits a rewriting of one of your beliefs if you don't already have one about your kid.
I don't.
Totally. Yeah, this is definitely like a shift in that.
Let's do that because this is suddenly relevant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's been relevant the whole time, but she's been ignoring it because she didn't think it was important.
Yeah, and you're choosing to make it a priority.
And this depending, we'll interrogate it after we make the roll. Let's make the roll and then we can talk about it because there's room for a deeds point here too, because now she suddenly gives a shit about this kid and like realizes that she's made some mistakes.
But okay, so it's intimidation. Ob 4. Mm-hmm. I can get a helping die even though I'm learning it.
Yes.
Yeah, I can.
And that's just 1 extra die.
Yep.
Ugly tree.
Yeah, basically. Well, you just help with will in this case, Elf.
Yeah.
And I can't fork anything in.
Not if you
no, because you don't have it yet. So let's talk about what happens if you fail. So if you fail to intimidate him, what like. I don't think I think the least interesting thing is he just like shoves you out of the way and like goes and does it. I feel like what serves his beliefs best if you fail is that he demands that he's like, fine, take him, but you're both coming with me. And like, you have to watch while I do the thing. You have to make sure he sees what a Carpathian man is like.
Okay.
Does that seem like a reasonable, like, I mean, that's a demand. You can always say no or try to like weasel out of that, but that's his jam here.
No, that's
because he doesn't really care. Like maybe it's a way to get you on board, and he does have beliefs about you too. So
that's fine. I mean, I cannot succeed on this test, so
you never know. Well, you got a 6. Do you want to spend a fate point on it?
Sure, why not?
Okay. All right. So
and that would go into will, right? That fate point.
Yeah, that's right.
And then it's a routine test for learning. So it's one test for learning intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I only need 4 because my will is 6.
So he I think he stops and he gives you another look that is like old and unfamiliar. And I don't know, Joy, maybe you recognize it better because you've been around Gavril, and you're a student of people's, like, you always look for stuff to make fun of, right? So you see a very distinctly Gavril like look on Reza's face. And he looks at her and he says, I have only ever wanted what was best for this house, what was best for the child. This world is too harsh to try and protect him from things like bloodshed. You came to Carpathia, gave birth to a half Carpathian son. He has to understand what that means. And I think perhaps so do you. And he like thrusts Reza into your arms, like just like
Neculi.
Neculi. He throws himself onto you. He thrusts Neculi into your arms, right? He's just like, ugh, and like pushes him at you.
And she's probably like unaccustomed to how much he weighs now because she hasn't held him in a while, and he's like grown.
And he's unaccustomed to being held by you.
Yeah. And also I'm injured.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? He knows you're injured. He knows he's hurt you. And he says, instead of being like, you should go get that looked at, he says, you want to be the child's mother? Then mother him. Both of you. Come with me. And that's when he like pushes the two of you out of the way, like tries to squeeze past you and Joy and like get out into the hall.
I'm not gonna block him once the child's in.
Yeah, I mean that's what she wanted. So
his arms, I'm done.
Although like she doesn't really understand what she wanted now. Like...
Yeah. And so he's just like holding on to you, like got his little chubby arms around your neck.
Yeah.
And the two of you, I guess, follow after to watch Rezuli.
I mean,
Revril, Gavra.
I'm definitely not going to follow that.
Yeah.
I am, however, going to like once Reza's in front, like leading the way down the hall or whatever, and Alessandra's about to follow. I'll just like touch her on the arm briefly and just be like, "Good call. Family's important." And
she looks at you
basically.
And she looks at you and she does the PCI language and she's like if Reza is already storming down the hallway, or like if he's waiting for her, she's like, you and I will talk later. And then like you're gonna have she's gonna have a job for you is all I'm saying.
Your reputation as Black Widow is going to continue to grow.
Hey, she has a midi wound because this motherfucker, he's gotta die.
Yeah. So
this is like you have a concussion.
Just wait till he gets dogpiled by peasants and then just be like, oops.
Also, DJ, what's your character's lowest stat?
Her B3 power.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you're almost incapacitated.
Yeah. No, it's rough. Like being having a 5-year-old shoved into her arms probably almost put her on her ass.
So I have a question before because we're gonna end it at 3, right? So before we do that and do all the other stuff, I have a question for you, Alessandra, and I want to make sure you're aware of the mechanics first. So I want to give you a choice. So he goes out to fight. Now you can stay in the window and make sure that Reza sees his like father
Neculi.
figure, or Neculi sees his father figure do the thing and like go out into battle and fight off these filthy peasants. Because let's be clear, like the peasants are all going to get slaughtered. Like this is just a losing fight for them. The doors are going to open and they're going to be like, yay, they're here to listen to our oh god, and then get all.
Yep.
Most of them will flee. Some of them will die martyrs. Others will be arrested and then later hanged. Like it's going to go badly for them. And Neculi will see all of this and they will know that his father had a part in this royal justice. If you do that, that's one thing. And Gavril / Reza at some point will look up at the window and see you and be like, good. She was listening. Like maybe there's something here. Or you can go up there for a minute and then fuck off and go get your wound tended to.
I think the thing is that
let me talk about the mechanics first. You're going to want to hear this before you make this decision. So if a midi wound isn't treated before the end of the session, if you don't do this, it becomes a severe wound and then you'll have to recover from that. So you like stand in the window, bleeding internally, your brain hemorrhaging, and then probably pass out sometime after, and like wake up with the king's doctor being like, "You could have died, fool." It's going to be something more serious.
So what's the page for wound stuff?
493.
Okay.
On the plus side, this is probably the place at which we do a little bit more like downtime. There'll probably be like a couple of weeks of stuff. So Agatha will recover that last die, and you'll probably have time to recover a little bit too. So,
okay.
How far away are you, Andrew, from recovering your die?
Like a couple.
I'm like a couple weeks.
Okay, yeah.
Like a week at this point, I think.
Sure, yeah, I think it's a week now. That's what I was thinking when we started. So,
okay. I mean, okay, yeah, it sucks, but I feel like what I want her to do anyway is that like she does the thing, she goes to the window, but instead of like telling letting Neculi assume like look at that guy in the armor slaying those mean people, like look at how great he is. I think that she wants to impress upon him like look at how violent and awful this is. Like all of these people dying, and for what?
Do you have the rhetoric skill?
No.
Okay. I'm curious how effective it would be.
He's 5.
The good news is that this kid is a tiny baby and doesn't have will.
Yeah, he has
will of
one. Yeah, he has one life path. Okay. I mean, yeah, no, but that's what she wants to do. Like. Okay. She wants to, like, the whole point of her standing up to Reza there was that she let it go too far and she needs to take back her son.
Let's see if Neculi learns the lesson. So make an ob 1, because I'm not willing to say beginner's luck rhetoric ob 1, it'll get doubled to 2. You're at -2 dice because you're wounded, so there is some gamble here.
Rhetoric?
But this is just whether it sinks in, whether you can teach him the moral lesson of like this is what happens. This is bad.
Also, don't forget that you can grit your teeth to reduce your
rhetoric is perception.
Which this sounds like a gritting your teeth kind of.
Oh yeah. Okay, so how do I grit my teeth?
Let's see.
You would know.
It's gonna be a health test. Yeah. So.
Right now the wound
gritting
is
your teeth. Through a supreme act of will and endurance, the character may temporarily shut off -1 die of pain modifiers. So you make an ob 4 health test. And it takes a minute. It takes 4 actions in fight. But
this is the gritting your teeth as you walk up the stairs carrying your kid.
Like I can imagine what this would look like.
Yeah.
So it's an ob 4 health test. Can I like add any kind of modifiers to that?
No.
Or
because there's no help to be had, right? Because it's not a.
Yeah. Now you don't suffer your die penalties to health from wounds. So you're just going to be rolling your health straight up against.
What's the like? Is there any kind of consequence to not succeeding on that? Or
you just try to shrug it off.
Well, it's a roll, and any failed roll, I can invoke a consequence. But I think in this case, the consequence is just you keep hurting. It's very rare to be like, yeah, it gets worse.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to shrug it off, but I have to be very lucky.
Okay.
And the obstacle is 4.
Yes.
Yeah, it's ob 4. Just set. Okay.
Nope,
so
not even a little, not even a little bit. She's very in pain
It's
right
fine. You
now.
still get to mark the test, which is sort of the big point here. Okay, so yeah, your head is just like swimming and throbbing, and the sound of the battle. And despite the fact that you're standing by an open window and Gavrilla's like in his coat, you yourself are like sweating. Your
Neculi.
yeah, Neculi,
Every
right.
single
I
time.
know. So Neculi is in his little coat. It's because we never talk about him. He's never on screen. So you are like you're overheating. You're feeling the same heat from that room.
Right.
And yeah, you see Reza Gavril fighting in the. It's not even a fight. It's just like a lot of like shield bashing and like stepping on people and stabbing people who are down and stabbing people in the back. And you're trying to explain to your kid like, no, it doesn't have to be like this.
So what is the perception of this little baby?
No, it's his. You're opposing
It's
his
perception.
will.
No, it's
For
perception.
rhetoric, it's opposed to perception. It's one. He has one in everything. He's a baby. He's 5.
Yeah, because rhetoric is about being smart, not about willpower,
Right.
logic.
And I don't have any kind of Artha that I can add before.
And rhetoric is the skill. You're not trying to get him to do anything, but you're getting him to understand a lesson.
There's an argument here between the information that he has been fed by Reza and this new set of info.
Nope.
Okay.
Not even close. Nope.
So that's the fucking tragedy, right? Is that you're like worsening and like barely keeping it together, and Nikolai doesn't hear it. He's just like, yay, look at him go, killing those barbarians. Get out of here, peasants. You're the worst. Like, he's not like a weird, like, he's afraid because it's loud and violent. And
Well, and part of this is also because Alessandra's never fucking done any of this shit before.
yeah. So it's not like he's going to be like, yay, but also you haven't instilled any doubt. And I think he's just like in your arms, just like staring in fear, overwhelmed by the whole day has just been hell for him. And you're standing there probably like, your eye welled up with blood.
I have one point to level here.
Yeah, do it.
Which is that the child rearing skill exists.
It does. Yep.
And it says to raise children with the proper values and manners. So it's explicitly about this stuff. I don't think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, there was a separate skill. So yeah, this is a child rearing skill instead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should roll that instead.
Ignore that one. Child rearing?
It's called child rearing. It's founded on will. I don't know if you will have it.
I don't have it, obviously. Why would I have that?
You know what's funny? You know what's very funny is that when I was burning up Reza, guess what skill Reza does have?
Reza has child rearing. I remember you gave it to him. Okay, so sorry, not rhetoric. I don't have any tests for rhetoric. Child rearing.
Child rearing based on will.
Where is this? Okay, child rearing. Got it.
I think this is a wonderful time for you to start learning this skill.
No, that definitely makes more sense to me.
I like that.
At least. Okay, so child rearing, same everything. It's the will of the child, which is still 1.
Okay, which is still 1. Okay, so this is more an appropriate test.
I really want you to succeed. Yes.
Thank you.
You're much better at this.
Because it's based on my will, and I'm way better at will.
So same scene as before. He's in your arms. He's like staring, and at some point there's a scream. We get our Wilhelm from below or whatever. And he turns, and Nikolai like buries his face in your chest because he just can't bear to see it anymore.
Because it's horrific.
Yes, it is. And that sinks in, right? Like, and the
comfort that Nikolai can receive in this moment is from his mother, so it like reinforces this whole soft boy vibe.
That is, I like that ending much better. Thank you, Andrew, for pointing out that I could do a will based.
I'm pretty sure this is.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, and this is why we're all playing this together, even if we're not necessarily in the scene. I think this was such a good episode for everybody. Let's reward people for things. Let's do that. Okay, so I'll start. Let's start with we'll start with Joy.
Jack shit, nothing at all.
So you didn't get a chance to pursue your goals, which happens. But I want to suggest a point here for Moldbreaker, for like getting in the way, like inserting yourself into a scene that it wasn't going to do anything good for your character. It was just there for you to get beat on. Like I definitely feel like that's a role-playing reward there. There's something to that. Like I would
say that was beyond the bounds of Joy. Like you didn't have to be there. There was no like.
Joy's really good at avoiding trouble.
Well, and honestly,
Yeah.
there was a lot more stuff happening with the king and the court and the nobles being like scared, and like you could have totally made fun of a bunch of them, but like you came after.
Well, that last scene was the important one, I think, for Joy, because
Yeah.
it also, if you look at it on a broader scale, it seems to me like the last few episodes, Joy has realized that being alone means being in danger, and has started to try to actually like connect with people. And I feel like that's what this was. This wasn't just
And the stuff you did when you when you could have given the punishment to Emilio and you didn't.
Yeah, like there's
like
a
that
slow
comes into this
slide
too.
there. So yeah.
Right after we give you the cold-hearted trait, you stop acting so cold-hearted.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah,
Because then you can turn on it too, right? There are moments where you're like, is Joy starting to soften up? No, well, nope. Apparently, knife in the face.
Yeah, apparently not. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Agatha, let's talk about what happened to you this session. You ruined a poor girl, or set her free from the skein of fate, whichever you want to look at.
Yeah, so I feel like I kind of resolved the short-term goal of my current third belief, whether like it's like perhaps be a friend. No, but she did learn of the old ways.
Yeah. I would say persona for this one, because it's not I will make Serica a friend. It's like I will do this thing and then maybe she'll. But
yeah,
nope, the old ways don't
I
want
did
her.
the thing. It didn't work out, but there it is. So
there it is.
persona for that.
Okay.
Again, I think working towards that covers my that's also working towards my second belief of trying to keep the traditions alive.
Yeah, because you tried to name her. This was a traditional behavior.
Yeah, and also that like all this talk of like how the world is horrible, but I must give her strength in order to like that whole rant about just like, oh yeah, everything's bad, it's terrible, it's been awful to you, it's broken you. I will make it so that you can survive.
Yeah, exactly. Serica is soft. I will make her hard, like me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I want to suggest a fate point for vindictive, because you didn't even try to like make her feel better. You're just like, peace, I'm gonna go get my stuff. Don't fuck with me again.
100%, I agree with you.
Yeah. No, exactly. I was just like, nah.
Well, you're ruined. Let me go get my stuff.
And I'm deciding whether or not to write a belief that is about like pulling her out of that mess or not.
I think, yeah. I mean, I think if we don't, this is one of those things where if nobody writes a belief about Serica, everyone just kind of shuns and forgets about her.
Yeah, like she just is considered that like that crazy girl.
Yeah. People forget her name.
Broken and
yeah.
So I think I'm probably gonna have to write a belief about that, because I think, just as we talked about, like Joy having like, well, okay, I got to think on it, because it's a fork in the road. It's either like fuck everyone, burn it down. Maybe once I burn it down, cool people will crawl out of the ashes and I can them into my witch coven. Or it's like, oh, I really have to double down and like work with these people.
Yes. Yeah. Totally.
So I'm leaning towards that second option right now, but there's room for the other one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
You want it to be one way, but it's the other way.
That's right.
It's that whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, great. So I'll take 2 fate and a persona.
Okay.
Which puts me at, because I know that my numbers weren't accurate.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm at 8 fate, 1 persona.
Okay. So you got two more fate, and then shows on here. Okay. All right. Alessandra.
I definitely think that I attempted to, like, even though I was using him for like my own, like, I want this thing, help me get it. Like, I did attempt to introduce the king and Robillard and get that conversation.
Yeah. You tried to be at the very least like a part of that scene. It was try to be like, I'm still part of this conversation.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
So a fate for that. I think that I acted against my always redirect violence away from my person. So fate for that.
So you don't get points for avoiding your instincts or for doing things. But we'll talk about what that means in a second.
Okay. No, that's fine.
You would have gotten fate if you had been like, fine, be mad at the kid. I don't care.
Okay.
That's sort of what I was baiting you with, where I was like,
acting against your traits.
No, it's if
they complicate your life.
If your instincts or your traits complicate your life, that's when you get fate.
Okay. Got it. Well then, never mind.
Yeah.
Not jealous quite.
Yeah, I don't think any of your traits came into play this session.
Okay, and just the one.
All right. And Ludwig?
Yep. Again, persona for my first belief.
Yes, yeah, because you now made a deal. Yep.
I don't get fate for the second one because it only came about as a byproduct of completing the first belief.
Yeah, you'll have an opportunity to do something with that one soon.
Neither of the first or third instincts got me in trouble. They were just helpful in the situation. I think I might have gotten a little bit in trouble from forward.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that. It seemed like, because you started off like really aggressively, and I was like, oh, I see what I was. I could see what you were doing. I picked that up.
Yeah. Cool. I wasn't sure whether it ended up just playing or flavoring the.
No, it affected it. I played her differently because of that.
Okay, cool. So that's one extra persona and one fate for me, taking me up to 3 and 2, I think.
Okay, cool. All right, here we go. Okay, let me do a quick check of the other awards in case there's anything.
I feel like Blue Jay should get either embodiment or mold breaker for that scene around the child, like maybe mold breaker.
Yeah. Embodiment was the test I was thinking for Joy. That stepping in at the moment or MVP or whatever. There was basically that was worth one of those points. But yeah, I got to look at the exact rewards.
Yeah, they're all persona. So
yeah, mold breaker is about like inner conflict between beliefs, instincts, and traits.
Okay, so that would be because they weren't conflicting.
I feel like the tension in that scene was about your independence, right? Because if securing your kid was both an act of independence against Gavreza, but then also is inherently subjugating your agency to
the
kid. So it's a big sacrifice in that way.
What pages are these on?
This is on page 64.
64. Okay, thank you. That's what I was looking for.
But then also your instincts around violence. Like, you know that Gavreza is a violent person and that if you just don't go there, it's fine. But also that like it's about, and like I was saying, like I feel like there was a moment where a new belief got rolled out of you where it was like, oh no, this actually matters because of the intersection of all of these different things. And that like this is taking that instinct about violence and making a belief about violence and about how it's like a belief about toxic masculinity, basically.
Yeah, there's going to be a belief about, I think, Reza and Nekulai, and that being a bigger deal than I have previously given it.
And we got to see all that stuff play out and how the scene went and like the lengths that Alessandra was like realized she needed to go to and was willing to go to do it.
Yeah, I wonder if
to me that was very compelling.
I wonder if mold breaker is enough, like, because I guess it depends. Like, it's one of these things where in retrospect, like if you just go back to playing Alessandra as usual, then it'll like deflate this. But if your plan is to like change your character around a bunch to be like, oh wait, there are more important things than my own quest for power, then it feels like it's maybe worth a deeds point, like because the way
I don't think so yet.
I think that's something that's a little like longer term.
Okay. The thing is, you can't angle for it. Like it's just got to be like a thing that's like, oh, this is like a significant change.
Doesn't it also groundbreakingly change like the world?
Well, no, not necessarily.
Not really.
So let me just read it out, and ultimately I just get to decide, but I like getting help with these things. So it's hitching yourself to a cause that transforms the setting is the thing that you're thinking of, which in this case is like future generations of Carpathian, right? That was the sort of symbol at play here, was the like making Reza watch the violence and embrace it versus like Nekulai, sorry.
Every single time.
A cause that transforms the setting but doesn't directly benefit you or your friends. Helping another character accomplish goals that are anathema to yours can earn a deeds point. It's got to hurt a little, which was part of my like, do you just go and take care of yourself, or do you want to take that way worse hit to like teach this lesson? I don't know.
Where I'm coming from with like redirecting Alessandra a little bit is that like she's been fighting to get the king to like give her what she wants. She made that deal with Robillard to get what she wants. And I think like with these people coming up to her house, she's kind of like, maybe it doesn't even fucking matter. This whole thing's falling apart.
Yeah, you know what? I think the thing is here is, and this is a good point. You referred to Reza a lot as like property and treated him as like something you own.
Neculi.
This was the point I wanted.
Right.
To
That's
make.
that is a good point. So Neculi is property, not a person.
So yeah, we're on our way.
Still pursuing the same goals, but it's doing
Right.
it slightly. If he becomes a goal in and of himself, that's when it's a deed.
Yeah, she's not doing it to help him. That's none of it is to help Neculi.
Okay.
That's what.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so
No,
yes, then
it's about her.
It's persona. It's the struggle, right, between those things, but it's still down here. Where okay,
Yeah, I think Moldbreaker is where we're at. I agree.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so take persona for that one. Cool.
Yeah, no, it's still very much about Alessandra.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think that Deed's point is.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just wasn't sure what the goal.
No, it's still very much like her reassessing her like priorities and power struggles. And
all right. So bump that wound up to a severe wound.
Okay.
And we'll talk about getting you recovery.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the party. It's going to take 1 to 3 months to heal completely.
Great. It's okay. She's pretty much given up at being able to convince the king to do anything, and who else really matters, right?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's episode 26. That was a heavy one. It's big stuff. Let's go around and tell everybody where they can find us. That isn't Dungeons and Dragons tomorrow. Blue Jay? Why don't you start? I'll start with you.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm Blue Jay. You can find me usually on twitch.tv/BlueJay, or on Twitter at BlueJay_712, Instagram BlueJay712, Patreon BlueJay712. There's lots of numbers. You can find me on Wednesday nights playing Stars Without Number on twitch.tv/GeekSpaceTV. Obviously, Fridays you can find me on D&D with these people. And yeah, I think those are all the places. I think. Yep, probably.
Excellent. Thank you, Blue Jay. Dave, how about you?
Sure. Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Dave_the_human. And you can find me on Twitch, streaming more regularly now that I have a schedule, on Dave_human. There's going to be one before D&D tomorrow. I think I might move it to 4 so that I actually get some time to do something, because I forgot about daylight savings and I don't really want to do the stream. And then Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, as well as that Friday slot. So I'm going to try and make a thing of this thing. So, yeah, follow if you want to see some of that.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Andrew?
Hi, that's me. You can follow me on Twitter at CommutingCrow or on twitch.tv/actualfactual. On April the 1st, finally, after many scheduling mishaps and a month of delays, I will be doing a playtest of Girl by Moonlight on my channel on Sundays. So you can tune into that as well on April 1st, the 1st of April.
That is the first day of April. The 1st of April. And last but not least, Elf. What about you?
Hello, everyone. I'm Distracted Elf. You're probably aware of that. You can find me sitting in a second-story window trying to get your attention. That's it.
It's pretty hard to be conspicuous on the internet. Cool. Well, this has been an episode of Roll20 Presents The Burning Wheel. And you can, as always, check out back episodes and the other shows that we do by visiting any of the social media links down below. All of our VODs are right here and accessible right away, or you can check it out by throwing us a subscribe on YouTube at MSRoll20. Most importantly of all, you can play your own games. Go to roll20.net. If you don't have an account already, sign up for one. Gather your nerds. Play a game. Do a thing. There's tons of exciting games you can play, including this one. We're going to be back tomorrow for Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to play some Tomb of Annihilation. That's going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/D&D or hosted right here. Either way, wherever you want to watch it, please come and check it out. It's much later. It's like a Saturday morning cartoon to all this fucking dismal drama. So yeah, that's it for us for this week. We'll see you next time. Thank you for coming. Goodbye, everyone.